Welcome in, my dear one. Thank you for being here with me. I'm Psychic Mia from spiritualsociety.com. I'm grateful for your presence here with me today. So we are getting some details. We're getting underneath the surface here. We are finding out what he is secretly thinking about you. And what is he secretly feeling about you? What is underneath the surface? This can be any type of relationship, something that you're in, something you want to be in, something that's still just a little bit casual. Whatever it is, we're going to find out the details. I want you to start to feel drawn to one of these 4 crystals and one of these 4 cards. My cards are a little askew. They're a little bit on a slope here. We're looking at card 1, card 2, card 3, or card 4. Take a nice deep breath right now. Let your intuition guide you and choose a card right now. Okay, here we go. So what is he secretly thinking about you? What is coming up? What are we going to find out? So first of all, let's go ahead and pull over our anchor card. So we have the 6 of Wands. There's an important milestone that has been reached. There is still a ways to go, but there is something really beautiful coming in here. So he is in a sort of victorious place with you. I feel like there is something truly lighting up about this. So riding in success on the tip of the wing, just ready to flourish. So I feel like some really strong, good feelings are coming in, some really yummy, good feelings. So let's go ahead, pull some other cards, and let's see where we're at. So I want to go ahead and just turn over a few cards and get us started. We have the Emperor. We have the Justice card. We have the King of Pentacles. Some really strong cards coming in here. And the 10 of Cups. Holy macaroni. Okay, so getting us started right away. We have Justice. There is a feeling here that that you are part of the package that is bringing him what he deserves, and he is feeling like, I have been trying and working and ticking off milestones along the way in his progress towards the life that he wants and the life that he desires to create, and that you are a part of that package of this is what I have wanted, this is what I deserve, this is what I have been trying for, this is what karmically belongs to me, and you are a part of that package. So he has some really strong feelings. So you put him into a place of power, and you put him into a position where he feels so strong. Both coming in with the Emperor and the King of Pentacles here, both of these cards, both having a sort of fatherly representation as well of this being able to provide, being able to take care of, getting into worldly goods over here as well. But you bring out this part of him that wants to be a provider. If a family's in your future, a family person, a father of your possible children, this role of being able to take care of and wanting to take care of and having the answers and being able to fulfill the answers to take care of any questions that you have or any insecurities you might have, wanting to just really be the man, be this position of power. And you're really putting him in that seat, and he feels that. He feels like his best self, like he's in control. He has the answers. He is so confident. He feels like this king, like this emperor, this beautiful energy, some deep intuition that bubbles up when you're around, things growing when you're around, that he's growing into his best self. You are creating him to be the best version of himself. And the 10 of Cups coming in here, which is this beautiful card. It is a completion card. The cups really representing those feelings and emotions. And, this card is what I like to say is really a riding into the sunset card. It feels like this happily ever after card. They're standing here with their arms open. They've got the children on their side, the house in the background. everything is warm and fuzzy, standing under a rainbow with all of these feelings and desires for the future. He is having this intense amount of feeling, emotion, desire for the future, a desire for a future with you, and whatever the happy ever after looks like. It doesn't have to look just like this, but there is something that you're bringing about that makes him crave this and want this and feel like he is riding towards this. These are some really strong, potent, powerful, and really sort of pretty delicious feelings. Okay, so let's see what else we have here. So we also have the Lovers. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm guessing that you're feeling a lot of really strong feelings coming off of him. So this might not be such a secret. The depth of the feeling might be a secret. The depth of the things you inspire in him might be a secret. The things that you are sort of, pinging in him might be a secret, but it runs deep. And I feel like a lot of this must show up in the way that he looks at you and talks to you, and the feelings that have been accruing and growing. So the Lovers are showing up, and he's really feeling like you are seeing each other in your absolute truth, that this is fated in the stars, it's fated by a higher power. This is something that was sanctioned by the divine. It feels like an easy ebb and flow. It feels like fate. It feels like soulmateship. It feels like forever. It feels good, like you can look into each other's eyes, you can see each other in your nakedness, an understanding of the raw truth of who you are. Wow, I mean, really, there's just things just popping up here. My goodness, I'm gonna pull one more card like this. We'll ask some more pointed questions. So we also have the Five of Swords. How interesting that the Five of Swords pops up here. So I feel like there's one thing that's sort of poking through here in this, almost like, I see this in two ways. In one way that's very positive, like, how did I get all of this? I don't deserve all of this. I don't deserve, like in the justice way of that karmic way, like I don't even deserve to have all of this, everything that I'm getting. But there's also, I think, something maybe that came up between the two of you that that hurt. That was a little, one person taking from the other person too much, one person being a little bit ruthless and a little bit brutal. Maybe there was a fight. Maybe there were some words exchanged. Maybe there's some thoughts that have just a little bit of that potential to come in and just tag you. And that, so that's interesting. And I wonder what type of relationship this is right now, if this is something that is running as deep as those feelings, or if it's something that has barely begun or hasn't begun, or where you are in this process right now, how far you are in this. And if there's something that put a halt to something, I think it would be this. This could be a little event that happened. If you're with me right now, if you're here, if you're my group one, my card one, oh my goodness gracious. Let's go ahead. Let's put, I wonder if there's a wreath that we could put below. If not, let's put a horse below. Let's put a horse below to just take a claim in this. And I also want to hear about what type of relationship this is. So give me some details. I want to know. I want to hear about how you're feeling this, if you're feeling it, if this is something that is sort of out of the blue. So we have the Three of Cups reversed. And I was going to ask some deeper questions. So we are going to, because I do see some little things coming up. I do think that there's something where maybe he gets a little jealous when you're hanging out with your friends, or maybe he gets a little jealous when he sees social media posts about you having fun things and doing fun things, or being out in the world and enjoying yourself with other people. If there is a chance that you aren't together right now, then I think this revs up a lot of jealousy, of like, oh, they're out having this great time without me, and she's off living her life and being this amazing version of themselves. I feel like there's something that's poking through that's getting a little bit jealous and a little, the emperor can get into some of that controlling territory too, and wanting to have control, wanting to be able to plant some things down. Let's see what else is poking up for that. What is something to look out for here with this, that he's secretly thinking that you need to watch out for? Let's see. And so we have the Seven of Wands, which is interesting, coming right after our Six of Wands, which is beautiful and valiant and coming through. The Seven of Wands is a little bit more of a struggle, feeling like he has to stay on top somehow, and he has to prove himself, and he has to be stronger and more valiant, and he has to accrue points, kind of win. And this feeling like there's a struggle involved in the winning of you. And if something is poking up and popping up with his actions, anything there's some energy that's coming up that's like, I'm gonna win this somehow, I'm gonna fight for this, I'm gonna have to try to stay on top here and stay in the front of your mind, and this sort of little bit of a struggle energy that's going on with it that could ultimately be hard to hold on to. Something else we have to watch out for is the Eight of Pentacles. So this, growing of wealth, possibly this growing of worldly goods, this sort of routine over and over again of building and creating, ticking off those boxes, those things that make him feel like he's, living the life that he desired and is creating the life that he wants. Now we have the King of Pentacles here. So he's already in that feeling of feeling very able and capable, and you've made him feel that way. And there is something possibly disruptive in the day-to-day, the quotidian accrual of worldly goods. This could just be like working his job over and over, the repetitiveness, and maybe he's not as happy doing that as he could be. Or, there's something to watch out here a little bit in that day-to-day ticking off. It could also be that ticking off all of those boxes is a little bit dangerous, that it's not as open as it could be, maybe a little bit extra formulaic, a little too rigid and in place in the building of that and the accruing of that. And that if anything disrupts that could become a problem. Okay, so I want to find out if there's any energy out there that's coming in that you're going to really have to watch out for outside of him, like somebody who's talking to him, someone who's got his ear, his opinion. Oh, I pulled two cards. So we have the Queen of Pentacles, very interesting, and we have the Queen of Cups. Oh my goodness. Well, that was an interesting pull, wasn't it? So we have the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups. So any energy out there that we have to look out for. So there's two female energy sources coming in that are very dominant. They're very persuasive, have a lot of great qualities, but they're pulling his ear, and there's someone that you have to watch out for. And I'm feeling this is two separate energies, two separate people, two separate women. Someone, this could be a mother, this could be, these could also be exes, these could also be ex-lovers, these could also be, friends, but there is this, it could be a family's sister. This would make sense as a sister, the Queen of Pentacles. There is some energy coming through that's a little dangerous for you. It's a little bit tricky. So that's something you're going to have to watch out for. A lot of strong, good qualities, but not necessarily with your, with your actual who you are at the heart of it. And they might not know you well enough. They might be pulling his ear in a different direction, wanting something different for him. Okay, so I also want to pull a few cards just to see what some outcomes are going to be. What's coming out of this? What are coming out of these feelings? What do you have to look for in this near future? What is coming about? What is in the energy that is coming about? We have Temperance. And I feel an intense amount of flow, that there is something easy and it's not heroic or big or small, or it's easy. It's an easy flow. It's an easy back and forth. Something easy is coming, something balanced, something beautiful. That feels really good. It feels really good. And I'm also pulling the Three of Swords. So there is some pain involved here. There is something hard and sad here. And I don't think that this means that there's necessarily an end here. I feel like there's some really, really strong good things in the energy. So I wouldn't say that this is an end of anything, but there is some heartache involved. And this heartache could come from if these do happen to be past people, or if there's, that little wiggle that can't be gotten over, something, sort of rooted in. But every relationship also comes with pain. There is pain involved, and there is some heartbreak as we die to the expectations that we had, the things that we put upon someone else, the idea of the way life would be. So there will be some heartbreak, but I don't get a clear idea, honestly, if that means that there's going to be an ending, or if there is an ending already, or if this is something that's going to be overcome and togetherness is coming. Let's pull one last card for you and your future with this person. Is there a future with this person? What is coming with this person? What is important for us to know? Okay. The Ten of Swords. Interesting. So the Ten of Swords is a completion card. There is an ending. There is a death to something. There could be the feeling of being, sort of stabbed in the back coming with this. And so there is something tricky. There is something very tricky going on here. I'm not getting the clear path to how we get here, or if this is something you can rise up from together. So if you want to do a deeper dive, this might be a good reading to do a deeper dive on. There's gonna be a link below for you to do a deeper dive if you want to. I feel like there are a lot of questions coming up now, but there's a lot of good feeling out here, and there's a lot of positive building blocks. There are a lot of good things in the energy here, but there are some things that can, that are showing us that where the future's concerned, there's some pain involved, and there's some letting go and releasing, but there is also something easy and something shared. My dear one, sorry to leave you with questions. I feel like a whole additional spread could be had here. I feel like so much information it could be had. I would love to hear some comments. I would love to know if this feels, if this is understood by you. If things are locking in and you're like, yeah, that feels right. Yeah. I want to hear. I want to know. I want to know all of the things. So we're dropping either the wreath, if there is one, and as an emoji, or we're dropping the horse as an emoji below. And I am sending you off with love and with light. And I'm going to see you again so soon. Mwah. Until then, Mia. Welcome in my card too. What is he secretly thinking about you? What is he secretly feeling about you? What is coming up in that energy field? Let's find out. Okay, so first of all, let's turn over this Anchor card. So we have the Knight of Pentacles reversed. The Knight of Pentacles reversed. So I am feeling like he's kind of fallen through on his commitments. He's fallen through on, he's having a hard time keeping up. He's having a hard time following through on things and showing up as the person he wants to be. He's having a hard time. And I think he's just having a hard time with himself. He's having a hard time being the person he wants to be. He's having a hard time with prioritizing things and just being a really good version of himself. He's sort of falling apart a bit. And I'm guessing that you can sense that and feel that. Let's pull some extra cards. So let's start. We have the Star. So I do feel like he's seeing you in this shiny, bright way. The Ten of Wands, that he does want to bring things through, even though he's struggling. The King of Pentacles, which I pulled in the last card, which is interesting. And the Four of Pentacles, which is an interesting pull right after that. So first of all, I'm feeling like you are this you have all these emotions, you have all these feelings, you express them, you treat yourself with kindness. You know what good love is. You know what good love is because you grow that within yourself for yourself. You're this untouchable thing, this giver. You give and you and you're just sort of raw and out there in your vulnerability, in your nakedness. I've covered her up for YouTube, but she's open and exposed and vulnerable in this way, and he sees you, and it's like untouchable. It's more than what he feels like almost like it's far away, like a star in the night sky. Just how can you capture that? How can you touch that? But he wants to, the tens are completion cards. The Ten of Wands is this fire spirit that he wants to bring this home. He wants to sweat this out and hold on to it. And really he wants to be the person that he would need to be to make this into a relationship that works. He wants to be able to bring this to fruition. He wants to be able to walk it home. He wants to be able to muscle it through, to power through it. And I do think that he sees that you see him in this sort of golden light, in this King of Pentacles way, or King of Pentacles has this, providership, this growth mindset, this growth spirit, grows things around him, has this fatherly ability, who wants to show you that he could be a good provider and a good father and could be this great partner. And he can see that you see those pieces of him, that there's something you see in him that he feels the potential of it, and it almost hurts a little bit. There's the Four of Pentacles here too, and he feels like he's incapable. He's not able to release. He's hoarding it and holding it and grasping and attaching and trying to figure out what he could do, and he's clinging to things, clinging to these pieces of himself. And I don't feel like it's that he's clinging to you necessarily, but clinging to this idea of who he wants to be, of this potential that he can't seem to fulfill. He can't seem to bring it around. And that feeling of failing, and the pentacles really popping up here a lot. And the pentacles often have to do with money. The pentacles often have to do with worldly goods. And, I feel like that is a big piece of a big component of what's going on here, and where he feels like he's failing out. He's not able to build the blocks and bring it home. And, this kind of feeling like, you're better, like you hold more and you have more value. the Ten of Cups. And I think that he wants you to be it. He wants you to be the thing that comes into his life and makes everything right, makes everything good, makes everything feel happy and wonderful. Those cups, those feelings. And, you know, this another completion card, these two completion cards here. There's something that he wants to be able to make this a full, beautiful relationship with you. And I think that all of these sort of these little pieces of himself that he doubts, and this this deep secret instability and knowledge of who he is and what he's not been able to show up for, have really been plaguing him. And we have Justice. And I'm feeling a little bit fear around the Justice card as I turn this over. Like that he is afraid he doesn't deserve, that real justice would not be granting you, that he can't have you, that he can't have this kind of love because he's not capable. He doubts himself so much and has these very, deep insecurities that really plague him and keep him from, and just this fear of justice, that what is justice is not having you. And we have the Two of Wands reversed. And I feel like he has this need to, he feels like he needs to change. He needs to broaden his perspective. He needs to be more well-traveled and to be wise and to look at things from a broader scope. And but he doesn't know how. He doesn't know how to be that person because he doesn't have that experience. He doesn't have that viewpoint. And he doesn't have the ability, but he sees the need to do it. And the Page of Pentacles also coming in. So I do feel like there's some sort of, our pages getting into messages and messengers, and our pentacles once again are worldly goods. And I feel like he's waiting for a message, and I don't think this is something you can deliver. I think he's waiting for like a sign, or maybe for himself to complete something in order for him to feel like maybe it is possible, to have the hope that he needs, that this could actually be real, and that you could actually be something and someone that could function in his life, and that he wouldn't destroy, or he wouldn't drop, he wouldn't drop the ball with. And he's waiting for this kind of message. So we have a lot of obstacles I'm feeling already, but what is a big obstacle for you to be your fullest potential? The Magician as an obstacle. So the Magician is the manifestation card. And I think it's belief that it can manifest, belief that he can have, that he can bring things to fruition, the belief that you can that you can be, that this could be you, that this could be the future that's held for you. He has this very deep insecurity and this very deep, feeling of failing and not being able, and sort of just coming up short a lot. And this deep obstacle of manifestation, of worrying that he can't manifest, that he can't bring it all together, he can't use all the tools. This lack of confidence that's really a burden. What is an obstacle for you? If you want this to be something, if you wanted this to come to fruition, if you wanted this to move to a soulmate level, if you wanted this to be, what is that big obstacle for you? Of the Knight of Swords coming through is a big obstacle for you. I think you're confident, and I think you're bold, and I think you're smart, and I think you're fiery, and I think you're fast. And I think that you're sharp-minded, you're sharp-witted, you are your trophy, your prize. You're incredible. And I think as an obstacle for you, that's just, it's just that you're moving so fast and you do have this confidence. You almost have a reckless confidence. That's like, okay, well, let's figure it out. Well, but this kind of bowling ball, like roll right into it. Let's go. Let's go into the fight. Let's fight for what we want. And that mentality, I think, is an obstacle here because it's so far removed from who he is and how he acts and how he operates. That's a big obstacle. What does the future hold for you? What does the future hold for you? What does the future hold for you? We have the Six of Pentacles reversed. Again with the Pentacles, I'm just pointing it out because it's really showing up here as a theme. The Six of Pentacles reversed, and the Six of Pentacles as a card is a giving and taking card. That's beautiful. It's very generous. You can be the receiver of generosity, the giver of generosity. But it is reversed here, and as looking into the future for you, I am feeling like I do think money, truly money and worthiness of money is in the way. I also think that the giving and the taking is out of balance, and there's maybe it's not even happening. That there's very little generosity on both sides to give enough and to pick up what's being put down, to take. So I feel like there's and I don't feel like that in a financial way is when I say generosity, especially in relationships or something that could be a relationship or a futuristic relationship. Like I really mean being of a generous spirit, generous with love, forgiveness, being the first one to say something, to make moves, to be vulnerable, to like that kind of generosity, and that's coming through as something. So for the future, that could really that doesn't feel like a good place to go. Now, if I don't want to do too much of a hypothetical, but let's say, what is the potential? What is the energetic potential? What could this hold for the two of you? What could this hold for the two of you? But that feels like a little bit of a tease. The Ten of Swords is popping up, and this could be, and this is very much another completion card. So I do feel like this as this could be a releasing and a letting go of old selves, and I think in the potential of it, there is a downside, obviously, which is very apparent, the potential for hurt and pain and, being sort of like, taken down and pinned to the ground. But there's also the potential for a complete letting go of who you've been, a complete letting go and reinvention of who he's been, and a complete letting go and reinvention of who you've been. And I think if there's a way forward, it's through the complete release of who you've been previously, who they've been previously. This need to let go of all of this baggage that they're holding, really, which I see more for them than for you. I want a key piece of wisdom for you. What do you need to know? What is really important for you to know here? The Wheel of Fortune. My dear one, the Wheel of Fortune. Opportune, beautiful, fortuitous, good fortune is coming your way. Your wishes, what you want, your desires, your cravings, your hunger, your desire and need for beautiful things and for a beautiful future with love and soulmateship and good things, it is coming. The time is coming. The wheel is turning. The world is turning. And you're in the middle of this journey and this path that's leading you toward amazing things where you look back and you say, oh my goodness, how did I get so lucky? How did I get so fortunate? How did I get so lucky? So beautiful, good things are on your way. And I would just hold on to that regardless of anything else. Oh, yes. So let's pop, I hope there's a wheel emoji. If there's a wheel emoji, pop that below. If there is no wheel emoji, pop the star below. And I would like some comments. I'd really like to know your read on this. Does this feel right? Can you feel those insecurities? Is it a surprise? Are there things that pop up where you're like, yeah, this is not working because XYZ, or yes, this I feel getting in the way, or I want to hear, I want some feedback. Drop me some feedback below. I'm sending you love. I'm sending you light and all the good fortune. Every good thing is coming to you. I love you. Okay, I will see you again soon. Mwah. Mia. Welcome in my card 3. Okay, so let's take a look. Let us see what he is secretly thinking about you, how he's secretly feeling about you, what's coming through energetically. All right, so let's take a look. So as our anchor card, we have the Hanged Man. So he has been holding back. He's been pulling back and waiting. And he's been waiting for the right time. But also I think he's been sort of taking a step back to get a different perspective because these things weren't working before. This might be something where I wonder, leave me a comment below and let me know. I would be curious to know if this is someone that you were in contact with that like you're taking a pause or taking a break, or like you felt like a bunch of, green flags and then suddenly you kind of got to slow down. Or this might just be that they're taking their time all the way through, that they've been taking their time since you've met them. But definitely taking, like purposefully, because they chose to, they decided to pull back, to get a different perspective, to hang back. Okay, so let's take a look and see what we've got here. So I'm going to pull a few cards to get us started. We have the 8 of Cups. Yeah, I do see them moving forward and moving away a bit. So the 2 of Swords. Okay, so we're getting some real clear things coming in. The Page of Wands. Our page is getting into our messengers. And we have the 5 of Pentacles. Very interesting here. Can we also, I'd just like to point out that we have the Pentacles, the Wands, the Cups, and the Swords. So we have all 4 of the minor arcana suits here. So I find this interesting because right away there's a decision that needs to be made. They're trying to make this decision. Perhaps this is a decision between you and someone else, you and a previous love, you and a career move, or something else that needs to happen in their life. There's a decision that has to be made, but they have not been making that decision. They've not been choosing. They're sort of just, again, waiting. They're just waiting to figure out what to do, what decision to make, but they're like blinding themselves on purpose. They're letting themselves really put a blindfold on and just sort of be ignorant to it purposefully. Which is pretty interesting. We also have the 8 of Cups here. Now the 8 of Cups is a moving away from card. So the Cups getting into those feelings and emotions. And I feel like this isn't necessarily them moving away from you, but moving away from the emotions. So whatever emotions have been coming up, sort of putting it on pause, like, hey, I'm not ready to experience this love. I'm not ready to experience this feeling. I'm not ready to let this be as deep as it could be, or as sometimes I think it is getting. And sort of turning their back on those feelings to again, put things on pause, put things on hold, and just, like I need time to wait. I need to see what we've, I need to just wait. Now, the Page of Wands coming in as our messenger, the wands getting into that fire energy, and I feel like they are waiting for a message. They're waiting for a sign. They're waiting for something to bring them out of this space, this waiting, this holding pattern. And I think they're just, let's see what the universe brings. Let's see what comes and what shakes things up and forces me to have those feelings, or to make a decision, or to start moving forward and have momentum going forward. What forces me? What is the message that's going to come in that's going to move me into action, that's going to change things from where they are right now? The Pentacles getting into our worldly goods. In relationship readings, sometimes though, I get the feeling of different things. And here, there's this this hunger here, this out in the cold, this feeling of these two, very hungry, beggarly people without even having shoes, that, but they're together, which is something. But also it's a hungry space, not having needs met, not having things met. And this could get into money. This could be that they are having financial difficulties, they're having financial problems, and that is what's making them put everything on pause. And it's a big secret that they don't want you to know about, and they don't want you to go through this, this period of life with them. They don't want you to experience it. They want to be able to be in control and to handle it. But there is something very cold and isolating and very hungry and needy. There's something very needy. There's a deep need here that's popping up. So let's find out some more about all of this. We have the Ten of Swords coming through, which is, this could be being stabbed in the back by something. It is a completion card. It is sort of like the Death card in the Minor Arcana. It is this complete release. And it does feel kind of like this complete giving up, this complete sort of, I'm not going to take action. I'm going to give up control. I'm just going to, all of this stuff has happened. This brought me to this point, and this is where I am right now. So it does feel like it will take something. It feels like it will take something mighty to start action moving forward. It feels like it will take something pretty big to get them back into a space where the movement is churning and things are really, really going forward. And they see you as this beautiful, feminine, divinely feminine creature that grows things wherever she goes, that has this incredible majesty, intuition, fertility, this you're a breath of fresh air. You are something beautiful to behold. You're something that's, in the scope of all of these cards, how beautiful is this card? In the scope of their life right now, of what they're thinking and their thoughts are and their feelings are, you are truly something incredible. You're a piece of art. And what a difficult thing to integrate into this space. What a difficult thing. I would assume that things aren't just moving along for you right now, that things are, I would assume, not moving at all for you right now with this, as this is a relationship. I would love to know. I would love for you to leave me a comment to let me know. If you want to put a pine tree down below, put a little pine tree down below and let me know. Leave a comment too and let me know if that feels correct. So we also have the Knight of Wands. So I do feel like this isn't as fast moving energy as it could be, but it is moving and it does have some fire behind it. And I do feel like when they get this thing that forces them out of this space, that forces them to make a decision, that forces them to start moving forward, to come down out of this space of, being hung up like this, to move forward, they have this intensity about them. They have this ability to really move forward with fire. and to be brave and to be honorable and to be see things in a different way, to take maybe sort of almost a out of the box thinking kind of perspective on things, where they love being in this space. They're not in this space right now, but I feel like they're craving to be back in this space, the kind of person who could come in and be the person for you, the kind of person who could, let's go ahead and just pop him right underneath the Empress, the kind of person that you could love, that you could be with. And the Eight of Swords reversed is popping up here as well, which is very interesting. Now, the Eight of Swords is this card of, I say this all the time, she's bound up, these loose binds. She can let herself go at any time. She has a blindfold on. She can release herself from this at any time. But this is a very uncomfortable position to be in. It feels like being sort of held prisoner. Now, this is reversed, which is, this is an interesting card to pull. I feel like in part, this is how they are seeing your energy too. They see this glorious woman, this glorious person, this glorious Empress energy. But there's also this part of you that needs to be released, needs to save herself, needs to take responsibility, to not be prisoner, but you don't. You don't take action either. And there's a part of you that also lets yourself be held in place. This is a place that you sort of choose to stay in, as well as they choose to be in. So you're both in this sort of holding space of your choosing, which is pretty interesting. You both could release yourself and move forward, but you both are not. Does that ring true for you? I'd be very curious to know. And then we have the Eight of Wands. So there is this interesting fast energy underneath all of this. Now, everything here feels very stagnant, feels very stifled, feels very much on hold, hung up, waiting. All of this feels, just like, okay, even the good things they're moving away from. It feels very tricky. This feels very tricky, but there is this fast-moving energy underneath of everything. So this gets back into this Knight of Wands sort of feeling. I feel like there is this fire energy underneath of him. There's this fire energy underneath of what you could be, that if things do start to move, if things start to shift and change, and if you can come together within that, if you can release yourselves, you will move very fast. You will move very quickly, and there will be this fire quickness where you can just lean in and they can just lean in, and you can both just lean into it and it will take care of itself. You don't have to do anything. It's just off and running on its own. It's fast and it's good, and it's the kind of thing you can just give yourself over to. You can just lean into. Okay. For you, I want to know some deep wisdom for you, some deep wisdom about this person, what this relationship could or would be, should be, just deep wisdom for you. The Nine of Wands, more Wands energy popping up. So interesting. I pulled so many Pentacles in the last reading, and lots of Wands energy popping up here for them, for this reading. So I'm feeling with the Nine of Wands. A Nine of Wands card is this, this guy is healing from something. He's a little scared. He's like, oh, who's coming? Who's coming to get, who do I have to protect everything from? Who do I have to, standing guard, and very much healing. So something happened to put them in this position, to make them choose this position and to be in all of this. Now, that could be healing from financial trauma. That could be healing from this identity. Maybe they identified themselves in this financial way and they've had this financial setback. But this could also be past love that they're healing from. This could be something that happened between you that they're healing from. But there's something that they're healing from that they're very much standing guard over. And that's, so this is a message, some deep wisdom for you of of, you know, like who you're dealing with, what you're dealing with here, how this is gonna be challenging. This feels challenging. So if you have your heart set on this person and you're really feeling drawn to them and you feel like there could be like soulmate energy underneath everything, this could be challenging. This could be really tricky because they're really standing guard, and there's a lot of tricky little things popping up here. I would like to know what the outcome of all of this could be. What could the outcome of all of this be? Where do we see this going? Hi. Well, I just got a really fresh like wave of beautiful like fall leaves, that kind of energy, that kind of air that just came toward me. So I think this is worth hanging in for. Again, with the hanging in, oh dear. I think this is worth spending some time on and letting them take their time if that's what they need. I don't think you can push them through this. I think that the healing's got to happen. I do think you can release yourself. And energetically, their energy might start to mirror your energy. So if you can release yourself and move forward, they energetically might do the same. I think that is a very good chance, actually. And that's not going to be easy for you. But it does seem like it's worth it. This feels like it could very much be worth it. Seeing each other in complete honesty, just really meant to be. Okay, and I would like another piece of deep wisdom for you and action for you for releasing yourself. Deep wisdom, action for you to release yourself, to be able to start that journey for yourself. And I have the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords. So this is interesting. This makes me think of two things that come up. I feel like there's possibly a past lover or a past love in your life who was bold and fierce and ferocious, who you wanted to protect you, who felt like they were protecting you, who was moving quickly, and it all felt so good and strong, and you didn't even have time to think about it, and you just got swept up in it all. And I feel like there are parts of this person, I think some of that plays into this, of why you're letting yourself be held prisoner. But I also think that there are parts of this person that you miss so much because you want it for yourself. Feelings that you had, there are pieces of them and characteristics and qualities that you need to step in and Knight of Swords for yourself, that you need to harness for yourself. And saddle up that horse. How do we start to do that? What immediately comes to your mind? Drop that in the comments below with the pine tree of what comes to your mind, of what action would that look like? How would you start to move forward ferociously in this way? What characteristics can you steal from them? Can you mimic? You could even just test it out. Oh, well, this characteristic, sort of doing things bravely, being really bold, going in really fast. Okay, well, let's start small. Let's choose a small thing to do that with. And, this thing that makes me nervous, taking a class in something and, taking this, dance class or this thing. Like I've been really scared about trying it, but taking on this energy right this second, I am signing up for it and I'm just going to go and we'll see what happens. And I'm just diving in, rushing in, and who knows, that battle might not turn out so well. That class might not turn out so well, but you're just training the characteristic. You're learning how to take on that quality. Oh my, interesting. Please do leave me a comment. I would really like to know. This feels like some very clear messages coming through. So take all of that Empress energy that you have and harness it, because it's there and it's good. And it is interesting how masculine this Knight of Swords energy is, and how feminine this Empress energy is. So if you're truly sort of like sitting into your divine feminine, it might be time to take on a little bit of that Knight of Swords, a little of that divine masculine energy, in order to help release you from this. And this is helping to start all of the energy that can help them to mirror your energy of releasing themselves and taking action moving forward. My dear one, I'm really interested in knowing more about this. I can't wait to hear. I'm sending you love. I'm sending you so much light. I can't wait to see you again. Mwah. Mia. Welcome in my card 4. What are they secretly thinking and feeling about you? Let's find out. So we're starting with our anchor card. We have the Ace of Pentacles coming in, and I'm feeling like they're feeling like, our pentacles often get into worldly goods, money and finances and stuff like that, but they're feeling like you're this golden opportunity. Our ace is getting into opportunities and new things coming in. You're this new thing coming in that they're starting to see as this opportunity. Seeing some potential for stability, for growth, for abundance, for having it all, for feeling like, oh, this could be really, really grown up and very, not just lucrative for both of you, but this could be where you both give to each other something that makes you both feel like your best selves. Like you can both level up. You're both being handed something. You're both being given something that leads to a beautiful path, a beautiful way forward. Okay, so let's take a look at some other cards. So right away, we have the Five of Wands reversed. We have the Ten of Swords reversed. Okay. We have the Emperor reversed. This is a lot of reversed cards, you guys. And we have the Knight of Cups reversed. All reversed cards. All right, so first of all, I'd like to point out that we have the Five of Wands reversed. We have the Ten of Swords reversed. So there's some chaos that quells because you're around. When they think about you, everything sort of calms down. All the fray, all the chaos, all the thoughts, all the swarm of fiery energy that's just, everything calms down. There's a calmness, a knowing, an ease. I also feel like with our Ten of Swords is a completion card. And it's very much like the Death card in the Minor Arcana. At our swords getting into thought space. This is very much a completion card, as the tens always are, completion card. Something really coming to like a final end. I feel like a new beginning could be on the horizon with you. There's something completely new that could start with you. Now, if this is something that you've been in that stopped, then I feel like it's a restart, something completely ended and left, and now a restart could happen. A transition could happen. If this is something totally new or something you've been in for a while, or anywhere in there, I feel like, again, there's that, like they've left something completely behind. Something's totally over, and there's a possibility for really coming back to life. That sort of phoenix, energy of coming out of something. Now we have the Knight of Cups reversed, and we have the Emperor reversed. Again, lots of reversed cards here. So with the Emperor reversed, I'm feeling like some of their worst qualities are coming out, some controlling things, some things where they want to, just know everything, have control over everything. They want to be able to just have complete ownership of you, of the situation, of things that are going on. They want to be able to micromanage what's happening. And this is something you might not feel at all. It might just be a tendency, something that's popping up inside of them that they're just sort of wrestling with, this need to have control over it all. And the Knight of Cups reversed, I think that there's a possibility that they might be in a space that they don't want to share with you, where they're feeling a little emotionally unstable. They're feeling emotionally unstable. They're guarding their heart. They're feeling scared of their own intuition. They're sort of denying their own intuition, denying, what's coming up for feelings for them. The Cup's getting into that feeling and heart space. So I feel like there's some stuff that they're really contending with. There's some really good feelings that are coming around, but also that feel like change is on the horizon, and with a new thing being handed in. I find that very interesting, that's giving that feeling of like, oh, this change can happen now. But they're contending with themselves here too. They're really contending with their some of their inner demons, some of their inner things that they have a hard time with, that just sort of pop up. Okay, so we also have the Three of Swords reversed, again with the reversed cards. So with the Three of Swords reversed, I do feel like this is that like coming out of a heartbreak, coming out of this space, and this feeling like, oh, my broken heart can be healed. My broken heart can be put right. My broken heart can come back to life again. There's this little flutter of what has caused me pain can now maybe heal. And I feel like there's all of these little flutters of possibility, that there's this potential and this possibility. Okay, and we have the Five of Pentacles, which also feels like a fear card to me. So the Five of Pentacles, we see these two very hungry people, the Pentacles getting into worldly goods again, getting into this same space. I feel like there's fear behind, like, ooh, this new opportunity, like the really good feelings, and like, oh, I better not feel too good about what's coming in. I better, like this is the other potential, is that we could end up, begging for what we need and not being stable, not being secure. And perhaps that's coming from this heartbreak, this sort of trauma that they're followed by, that's still plaguing them a bit. So we also have the Three of Wands, and there's this looking out that's going on, perhaps looking to the past, perhaps looking at you from afar. If you're not in a lot of contact with this person, then I would assume that they're doing some social media scrolling, a little internet scrolling, a little Google searching, of just sort of looking at you from afar, looking at you from a distance, seeing you from a distance, and maybe not ready to stake a claim to things, even though this is kind of this like exciting, like, oh, maybe this could change everything, but still seeing things from a distance, because there's this fear involved too. And also they're battling their demons and not feeling like their best self. On the Seven of Swords, so feeling like something's been stolen from them, something's been taken from them, and their thoughts, they're just been taken away by something, and they haven't been given it back yet. They haven't been given back what's been taken from them, and so they're still very much feeling the loss of what has been stolen from them, what's been taken away. Okay, so I'm gonna pull one more card so we have the Nine of Wands. This all makes sense. This is that healing card, standing guard over those feelings, standing guard over, what's important, the fiery things of passion, purpose, drive. And perhaps what was stolen, or what was someone tried to steal away, what was the most important thing to them, the passion they had, the purpose they had, the drive for life that they had, that left them in this space, of being sort of maybe stabbed in the back even, and heartbreak, and there's still very much this feeling of healing from that, and coming from this feeling of healing after all of that. So I want to know about some deep wisdom for you. What do you need to know about this? What is some deep wisdom for you? If you wanted to move this forward, if you should move this forward, if there's the 10 of Pentacles coming up, so interesting, starting with the Ace of Pentacles, there's new opportunities. And this feeling, we can confirm that this could be a really good thing. That fear really doesn't have a basis. That fear, and it could have a basis from the past, but that fear is not going to come to fruition. That things can come together for you, could come together for you, and could be abundant. Could be just so abundant and generous and giving and overflowing in abundance in this way of just this hope and this promise of something new that could plant the seed of something that could grow. It can grow, and it can grow into something beautiful and that feels decadent and wonderful, and where you have everything you need and you have loved ones around you, and all of your needs are met financially as well, and just everything, there's family and there's laughter and there's dogs. What more could you want? Okay, so I'm also pulling this a deep piece of wisdom for you about what this can or could be. Interesting again with the Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles popping up. So I do feel like there's going to be some sort of offer made. There's going to be some sort of, this could be something in the near future of taking this little seed and running with it. Now, this is a very youthful card as well. So this is sort of a foundling offer. So I would treat it cautiously, because you're coming from this space where this person has a lot that they're contending with. They have a lot of stuff they're sifting through, they're dealing with, that they're just trying to get to the space of making this offer, whether it's somebody you've been with that for a while that wants to make an offer to level things up. If it's somebody you haven't been with, maybe it's even somebody you've been looking at from afar. Whatever this is that's coming in, I would treat it with some kid gloves. Be a little precious with things, and just be careful with it, because you are dealing with all of this stuff around it. So I want to take a look at the potential. I want to take a look at the potential here. The potential, the energetic potential of what might be held here as potential for the two of you together. And the Two of Wands, which is very interesting. So there is this feeling of, seeing the world, seeing things from afar, seeing this, seeing the bigger picture, seeing things you haven't seen before, being in a place that's completely new and wondrous, being in a place where you're really seeing things differently, where you're getting a really wide view, where you're like, wow, I always wondered what that would be like, or I always wondered what this would be. That feeling where it could take you to a whole new place. I think this has the potential to take you to a whole new place. I don't know that this is soulmate energy that's coming through. Could be, but I do think it could have the potential to take you somewhere new and adventurous, and I mean, even in the literal sense of traveling somewhere new and being somewhere new, but definitely giving you a bigger perspective and really opening your eyes up to some things. Now, I want a piece of wisdom for you of your action steps. What's your next action step? What should your next action step with this person be, if you have one? The Four of Wands, which does have that reminiscent, sort of wedding energy. The 11 sort of showing up here, the 11-11 sort of feeling coming through here. Or Wands getting to that fire, passion, purpose energy. Celebratory. This is a beautiful celebratory card. So I feel two things off of this. First of all, I want you to celebrate the interior feeling of what you want to happen. I want you to celebrate it now in your energy field. And then the other thing that I really want you to do is I want you to look for ways to celebrate. Look for things when people invite you to parties, if they invite you to a wedding, if you're invited to something, say yes. And you could invite this person along, but say yes. Participate in the celebration energy. I want you to be in the space of celebration. To let this feel like you already own it, like you already have it, that this has come to the place that you want it to come to. And then I want you to say yes to any opportunities that come in for celebration, for you to party, for you to just feel like ownership of celebration, that like you own that feeling. So this could use a deeper dive. I feel like this person could use a deeper dive, because I feel like we're learning a lot about them and a lot about the potential of you, but I feel like the real having a whole life together, or where you want this to go, as this starts to move along, I think it might be a good idea to do a deeper dive if you have really strong feelings about this person, just to get more information, to bite into that and chew on it a little bit more. Okay, so, I didn't have us plant an emoji. Let's plant an emoji. I want you to claim this and claim ownership of this. And let's do it with a celebratory thing, with a little like, wah, the little horn, the little celebration horn down below. And I would love some comments. I'd love to know if this rings true for you, if you get the feelings of these currents coming through, because I don't think these would be obvious things. I don't think that they're communicated things. This feels like very much the secret interior world of them. But I want to know if that rings true for you and you feel that. I'm sending you off with so much love and so much light into your day, into your week, into this adventure. Okay, until we meet again. Mwah, Mia.